Hello and welcome to the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series live tonight from Iowa Speedway. Race number 3 of the season about to get underway as these drivers wrapping up their practice session, gonna head to qualifying. We'll see where they stack up after that, but such a great racetrack here in Iowa. 7/8 of a mile, kind of races like a larger Richmond. To an extent, a faster Richmond, and it is a lot of fun. These drivers doing a good job out here so far, and if you look at the top of the board here, some of the top drivers from last week at Texas showing their strength once again here. Seth Hatchell, who had a fantastic run last week, he's up with the fastest time, but right behind him, last week's winner, AJ Stravato, in the second position. Safe Ferris in the number 44 in third, and then Jeremiah Vincent, who ran so strongly last week. You see him right here on your screen. He is currently fourth fastest. Ryan Gemmel making a return here. He is in the 5th spot on the board right now. All those guys putting up very quick laps here in the practice session. Let's take a look at the track info. We already mentioned it is a 7/8 mile racetrack here in Newton, Iowa, in the cornfields. Tonight's race is going to be 200 laps, a total of 175 miles. And we're going to see how things play out here for some of these drivers. Drivers looking to get their first win of the season. Other drivers trying to get their second. That's Joshua Abbey, who is the winner at Daytona, the opener this year. Speaking of Joshua, thanks for the subscription, the Prime subscription. Thank you so much for that. Good luck out there tonight. Maybe we'll get to talk to you at some point here before this thing is over. But Joshua Abbey, we were just speaking of him. He won the race at Daytona, and then last week it was AJ Stravato. So those drivers already advancing to the playoffs here in this series, and it's going to be a pretty exclusive list, I think, with 10 races in the regular season and then 10 races in the playoffs, if I am reading that correctly. Yeah, that does appear to be the case. So 10 weeks to lock yourself in. Yes, and thank you all for tuning in. Hello, Blazer Pete. Hello, Momesh. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Let's go to the racetrack, see where these drivers are in the qualifying runs. We'll take a look at Eric Lambert, the number 3 machine, sporting a fresh paint scheme here tonight. And Eric not having quite the luck he needed last week at Texas, but able to salvage, I believe it was around the top 25. He made up a few spots after getting essentially wrecked out, and that no give up attitude, definitely important in a nice 10 race streak here. You're gonna have to get as many points as possible, and Eric was aiming to do that last week and ended up earning a few more than he would have otherwise. Eric Hutton right now fastest on the racetrack. We saw Eric pretty quick last week at Texas. He came through the field and was up there challenging for the lead late in the race. Seth Hatchell on his second lap. It's with 23:038. That will put him fastest on the board, the number 8 V-Speed machine. So you take a look. Ryan Gemmel coming across the line, his teammate. Looks like he is going to be good for third here. Very good lap time as well. Let's take a look at some of these other drivers. Justin Hendry, I believe he is either just getting up to speed or maybe taking on a second lap here, but he currently shows 17th on the board. About 6.5 tenths off the pole time. Yeah, it looks like maybe he's just trying to get a bit more practice out there right now. Jeff Pogo across the line. He goes to 8th fastest for the moment. A little wiggle out of turn 2 there, though, and that's going to be probably enough to slow down his lap time. He comes across the board, or across the stripe. Still going to be good enough for 9th position. All right, so Jeff Pogo wrapping up his time on track. We got a couple more out there. Wes Weigand, I think he's also wrapping up. Joey Mines, number 20 car. The chrome paint scheme here, the Chrome Home Depot Camaro. He's got some damage on the car, so maybe he caught the wall on his first lap. Trying to improve here on the second. He currently sits 16th on the board. Across the stripe, he will improve his time. Actually, he will not. That previous lap time was just an extra lap, so he's out here just running more practice, trying to get the feel for this race car before we go green. Out there. Justin Hendry's still making laps. We already talked about him a moment ago. AJ Stravato looks like he's finally rolling off the pit lane. And last week's winner, we'll see if he can get a good starting spot here tonight. He brings it up onto the racetrack, but we're going to go onto the roof cam with AJ here. See what he can do. For that lap time, 23.157. It is showing him not scoring a time, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. That would be good for 5th fastest, so he may have just missed the timing because the first 5 minutes are for qualifying, and the second 5-minute break here is for the drivers meeting. So we're actually going to cut to commercial break. We'll come back with the starting grid. Let's see who ends up with the pole time here tonight and where your favorite drivers are lining up.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at V-Speed Sim. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with Jugs. It's big all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for a baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to drops.com. The first one's on us.
We're back at the racetrack now. I want to give a big shout out to those sponsors, Drops and NASCAR Brawl. NASCAR Brawl, of course, sponsor of this series and a great podcast series over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so go check them out. Had a great episode with Steve Post. The first episode of that podcast came out, I believe it was just last week, and they're working on the next episode right now. Got some big name stars going to be on that show in future episodes, so go follow those guys on those different platforms and get some great racing updates, racing takes, and racing news over there. So looks like we are going to the grid now. These drivers have completed the qualifying session. Let's see where your favorite drivers are starting here tonight. Going to the starting grid, Seth Hatchell going to capture the pole here in tonight's race at Iowa. So good lap by Seth, and carrying some momentum from last week at Texas, where he made a great recovery after kind of mid-late race incident set him outside the top 20. Rolling off on the front row, Eric Hutton going to be right alongside Seth with a 23.083, a great lap time from him as well. So congrats to both of those guys. Sitting on the front row, Ryan Gemmel going to be rolling off in the 3rd position. Jeremiah Vincent, so close to the victory last week, he rolls off in 4th. Dan Dill going to be starting in 5th position. Eric Gallion going to be rolling off in the 6th spot. Brandon Vasquez starting in 7th. Joshua Abbey, week 1 winner, going to be rolling off in the 8th position. Jeff Pogo starting in 9th, and Dallas Sullivan rounds out the top 10. Michael Newman starting in 11th position. John Mullins going to be rolling off in 12th position. 13th will be Safe Ferris rolling off in 13th, and Dennis Steele starting in the 14th position. Jason Perkins going to be starting in 15th. Lyle Sulfridge rolling off in 16th. Joey Mines starting 17th. Lane Sulfridge starting 18th. 19th will be Wes Weigand, and rounding out the top 20, it's going to be Eric Lambert, the number 3 machine. Justin Hendry rolling off 21st. Alan Dice starting 22nd. Chris Wheeler starting 23rd. Brett Sommers starting 24th. Brett won the NASCAR Brawl giveaway the other day and has a t-shirt on the way to him. Thomas Brendel starting in 25th. Daniel Worthington starting in 26th position. AJ Stravato rolling off in 27th. Justin Carey starting in 28th. Zach Smith starting in 29th. Mark Beverly going to be rounding out the top 30. In 31st, it's Timothy Emanuele. In 32nd, Jordan Shepler. 33rd, it's Justin White. 34th, Nick Starling. 35th, Eric Holly. 36th, Jordan Brockle. 37th, Kyle Payne. 38th, John Flamion. And that's going to do it for the field here. 38 drivers as they are on the move now. Seth Hatchell going to lead him to the green flag in tonight's event. He's got his teammate right behind him. We'll see if they work together on the start. Create a little separation from the rest of the field. But going to be some beating and banging surely here tonight. It's 7/8 of a mile. races like a short track. And it is a lot of fun, a lot of different ways around this track. And you'll see drivers work the high groove, the low groove, and everywhere in between. So it should be pretty exciting. Definitely one of my favorite places to race. And cheer on your favorite driver in chat. Let us know who you are rooting for. We'll give them a shout out and follow along with them throughout the race. We've got Blazer Pete and others cheering for Seth Hatchell, Ryan Gemmel. We've got Jay Park in the chat once again cheering for Eric Lambert. We'll see if Eric can get a little better result this week. After a not so great outing last week at Texas, Seth Hatchell going to lead the field here with Eric Hutton on his outside, waiting for that pace car to roll off, and it does. Seth holding them down, waiting for the green flag, and there it is, green flag in the air. We're underway from Iowa for 200 laps for the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. On the outside, Eric Hutton staying right alongside Seth Hatchell, and the 77 going to get a big run here and maybe take the lead away straight away as Hatchell's still down low. He's going to dive it deep into the corner, but Hutton with the run on the outside going to be able to get the nose out in front. Looks like he will lead at the line. As we pull up our ticker here, you can follow along with your favorite driver. Seth Hatchell trying to put more pressure back on the 77. He's working that low line, and they've already created quite a gap to Ryan Gemmel, who's created a gap back to Dan Dill, who leads the rest of the field. But really the battle for that top spot raging on as Hatchell not able to complete the pass down low. And I think he's going to discover here shortly that it's probably going to take moving up the track a little ways to get that back. But Eric Hutton leads the first few laps here, continuing to show the way, as he's now put a few car lengths between himself and Hatchell, and Gemmel just a few car lengths back from there. Little ways back here, we've got Jeff Pogo on the inside of Safe Ferris. The 44 now looking to the inside. He crossed him over out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Try and do some work down here in 3 and 4. He hooks that low line, able to stay right alongside Pogo, as we've got connection problems up in front of these drivers. Eric, oh, contact there. The 81 of Dan Dill goes around. Trying to catch up with him here. There he is. Ooh, his driver's just narrowly missing him. Let's see what happened. It looked like he got tagged from behind. Looks like Brandon Vasquez got a run down the front straightaway right up behind him. Dove in there a bit deeper than Dan did and sends the 81 around. Not too hard of an impact, but definitely some damage on that race car. And always dangerous to be sitting the wrong way on a racetrack. You never want to be in that position. He gets spun back around. He's going to remain on the lead lap, but he's going to be all the way back in 38th position. And we'll see if anybody elects to bring it down the pit lane. Does not appear so. As the leader's going to bypass pit road entry. And we want to thank Mega Slick Dude for following. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed tonight's event. And I want to apologize in advance for any kind of blinking or craziness that happens on our end. We are having some internet issues here. Trying to get those resolved as soon as possible. Hopefully they're resolved in the next couple of days and we won't have that issue in the coming weeks, but potentially could be some issues later in the broadcast. Everything seems good so far. We have Queen Fizz cheering on the number 86 machine. Trying to see who that is. See Kyle Payne in the 68, if that's who you are referring to. He brings it down onto the pit lane, actually, along with a handful of others. Looks like Jordan Brockle going to bring it on pit lane. I think Jordan actually already has a bit of right front damage, so he might be looking to get that fixed. Back at the front, pace car lights still on. So we're working under caution number 1 here in the early laps of this race. I said there'd be some beating and banging, and all the different lines make for different ways of getting in and out of corners, so it can be tough to figure out what you need to do if you're right up behind somebody like we saw there, and Dan Dill going around as a result. And it looks like about 11 cars brought it down the pit lane to get service on their vehicles. But everybody's still on the lead lap here, just 10 laps into this thing. As the pace car lights go off, we're going to go side by side once again. We've got Gorilla Glue cheering on. Looks like Michael Newman, probably. Good luck, Newmy. Probably Michael Newman back here in 28th position. The number 12 car. The throwback Ryan Newman scheme. Got a supporter in the chat here tonight, as Eric Hutton going to be the leader on this restart. We'll see if Seth Hatchell able to work that outside line and pull something off here, see if he can do what Hutton did to him, and it looked like Seth was able to keep up with Eric for those first couple of laps. As pace car in, green flag in the air, the 77 gets him going. Ryan Gemmel, a good restart. He's going to try and take second position away, and he does have that spot. He'll go right past Hatchell. Hatchell gets right to his back bumper, though, as they try and stay in second and third. Here comes Jason Perkins to the outside of Jeff Pogo. The 49 machine looking pretty strong here in the early going as he gets around the 24. Almost tags the wall, but keeps that momentum up. Pogo dives it back down to the inside here. 49 really deep into the corner. That can be tough in that upper line in turns 1 and 2. It's not quite progressive banking on that end of the racetrack. Definitely more progressive on this side. But like turns 1 and 2 at Richmond, this track is actually very much based on that. It's just larger. 1 and 2 a bit more banked, and then 3 and 4 is progressive, a lot like it is at Richmond. And you've seen in the past the Cup drivers run that high line in 3 and 4, and they're actually able to accelerate better out of the corner. So we've got Joey Mines taking away the 9th position caution on the track. Looks like the 33 machine of Eric Gallion involved. We'll see what happened to Eric here. So go back and take a look. Eric was pretty deep here in the field, racing up with the 39 machine, 113. Looks like he came up the track in front of the 113 of Daniel Worthington. Turned himself around there. Let's go to a little higher up cam and see if we can figure out what happened. Yeah, just kind of an unusual incident on the straightaway. You see the 113 comes off the wall just a little, and then the 33. We can take another look here. 33 only bobbled slightly, and they just kind of met in the middle, it looked like. The 113 definitely came down a bit more than the 33 came up, but sometimes that's just how it goes, especially at a smaller track like this. It's not really a wide racing groove. You want to be up close to the wall on the backstretch, so just met in the middle there, and it looks like 33 gonna sit on pit lane here, get some damage repaired. Eric Hutton continues to lead the way, and we are going to go to a commercial break here early on after our second caution. And back at the racetrack now. Cars side by side getting ready to take the green flag. We've got Eric Hutton, Ryan Gemmel on the front row. Seth Hatchell, Jeff Pogo in row number 2. Behind them, the 49 of Jason Perkins and the 6 of Dallas Sullivan, who's made a little bit of progress here in the early going as... Here we go, pace car onto the pit lane. It's going to be Hutton and Gemmel side by side. Hutton, a good launch. Gets him going. Gemmel did a good job timing that. Doesn't look like Hatchell is going to be able to get to his inside here like Gemmel did on the previous restart. As 77 of Hutton, a huge gap. He stretches away from the rest of the field. Gemmel left to fight off Jeff Pogo and Seth Hatchell, and Hatchell trying to hang on to that third position. Good run out of turn number 4. He's going to get a little bit of an advantage down the front straightaway. They swing down into turn number 1. So difficult to keep the car down there through the bumps, but he gets a good run out. Going to be right out along the front fender of the 24. Pogo really powering out of the corner there. Looks like Seth going to pull a bit of a slide job, pull up in front of him, and that's going to leave the top 5 single file. But behind them, Dallas Sullivan, he's under fire from John Mullins. The 64 machine goes to the inside. We're going to take that spot away out of turn number 2. Behind them, Dennis Steele, Alan Dice, and Joey Mines rounding out the top 10. Behind them, Wes Wigan, Lane Sulfridge, and Eric Holly trying to catch up. And we've got nearly 3 wide back there. That's Eric Lambert with Safe Ferris, as well as Chris Wheeler, the 22 car. As Lambert losing out here to the 44. As Safe going to be able to take that position away. Headed down the back straightaway into turn 3. He will complete the pass. Here comes Wheeler to the inside. As the 22 washing up the racetrack, trying to stay off him. Oh, he's losing control. Able to hang on to it. It's so tough to complete a pass when you're down there in that inside line, and he had a lot of steering input in that race car, able to hang on to it thankfully, but he drops back quite a few spots to the 19th position. As back at the front, Eric Hutton continues to show the way. Over 6/10 now, the gap back to Ryan Gemmel, and Gemmel holding off Hatchell. Your pole sitter here has not even led a lap just yet. He's going the wrong way here so far. Just a bad sequence of restarts. I think Seth might find something. He was so good last week on the long run, and that's generally what he's known for. We'll see if he can find something here as this run goes on. Just 23 laps in, They do click by pretty fast, 23 seconds a lap. We're taking a look here. Jason Perkins starting to put pressure on Jeff Pogo, the 24. That's 4th and 5th positions. And then behind them, Mullins starting to reel in the 49. As he is starting to leave the 6 car now. The gap between them about 3 or 4 car lengths down the back straightaway. And then Wes Weigand has found his way up inside the top 10. Joey Mines under pressure from Eric Holly and Safe Ferris in the 44. So maybe a bit of a punt there on the way into the corner. The 20 of Mines goes way wide. He's going to lose 2-3 spots as here comes Alan Dice to the inside. The 71 of Sulfridge not far behind. And Mines got punted out of the way by Eric Holly, who moves up inside the top 10, but he's got a hard charging number 44 car behind him all over the back bumper. And Safe was one of the fastest drivers in the practice session. And currently in 11th, he qualified 13th. Bit of a surprising qualifying run. He was so fast in practice. And showing some early speed here as he's starting to climb back through the field, now looking to the inside of Holly. He gets alongside him, but this is the hardest part of the corner when you're side by side like that, trying to get out of it. He dives deep in turn number 3. Not able to make progress just yet as Holly holds him off. And now Holly to the outside of Wes Weigand, the 188 down low, that white car, fighting with Dennis Steele in the Gatorade machine. And nice 2x2 battle going on right here. Is up a bit farther. Things relatively spread out. Dennis Steele way up the racetrack. He's going to give that spot, those spots up rather, to Holly and Ferris. And Alan Dice, next one in line behind him, as we see the 188 kind of slip up the racetrack there. Weigand losing some time to these guys. Taking a look a little farther back, some battles going on here between Zach Smith, Justin White. 71 of Sulfridge up, right up against the wall. Jeremiah Vincent able to get through. And now Zach Smith going to go to the inside, almost 3 wide as the 2 nearly puts the bumper to Sulfridge. 85 of Hendry will try and make his way around as well. Chris Wheeler, who nearly lost it, he's lost a couple more spots. Racing alongside Mark Beverly, also in a Gatorade Ford Mustang, nearly identical car to Dennis Steele that we saw up closer to the front. We've got Nathan Dahl cheering on the number 20. Joey Mines, Joey in the 13th position. Mad Cat Felix cheering on Eric Lambert. These two racing side by side right now, as Eric has a bit of right side damage. He's also got Jeremiah Vincent all over the back bumper, trying to hold him off as he clears the 20 and now goes down the back straightaway. He's going to set his sights on Dennis Steele, the number 28, who's dropped back to the 12th position, kind of running all by himself for the moment. And Ryan Gemmel solidly holding on to second with Seth Hatchell behind him, but Eric Hutton still 7/10 or so out in front, doing a fantastic job. Having led every lap here so far, after starting on that front row, he was able to take the lead right away from Seth Hatchell. And he's held on to it ever since. And Jason Perkins back here, he's actually gotten away from Jeff Pogo by quite a distance. That gap now up over 1 second between the 49 and the 24. And starting to reel in Seth Hatchell, I believe. Mullins really closing the gap behind Pogo. And he's bringing Dallas Sullivan right along with him. So those drivers trying to find their way up inside the top 5 here in the first quarter of the race. If you're enjoying tonight's broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. We really appreciate it. We thank everybody who's tuned in right now and who have followed or subscribed already. You can find us on all of these social media links on your screen: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we post pre-race announcements as well as other interesting automotive, sim racing, and real-world racing content. So check us out on all of those platforms. Give us a like or follow. We would really appreciate it. So right now, looks like the battle for second starting to heat up. Hatchell has found his way to the back bumper of Ryan Gemmel, starting to put some pressure on him, and they are basically matching lap times with your leader, Eric Hutton. So 77 perhaps burning the tires up just a little too much too early. And Hatchell possibly saving, starting to reel these guys back in. Let's take a look at last week's winner, AJ Stravado, not having a great run so far. Back here in the 26th position. After starting in 27th, he has not made much progress, but perhaps saving the best for last. I think he has a bit of right side damage, but it is hard to see. Well, the car looks clean actually, so no issues for AJ yet, just not found the speed that he needs to climb through the field. Right in front of him, week 1 winner Joshua Abbey, sporting a new paint scheme, the Quest Tech Chevy Camaro. Also not having one of his better runs. Started up in the top 10 and currently in 24th. He's gone the wrong way here as he goes really wide in the corner. That's going to allow Stravado on past. And he will drop another spot to 25th. So the 5 car definitely not going the right way. Stravado not going the right way either, just not falling back really as much as the 5 cars. There goes Stravado to the inside. He's going to make it 3 wide with the 81 of Dill, who we saw get spun earlier. And now the 81 drops all the way in behind the 48. That was a close call, but Stravado going to get a 2-for-1 deal, I believe, as Dill trying to get back underneath him, not going to be able to do so. And Stravado going to be able to clear both of them. Now set his sights on Lane Sulfridge. So big gaggle of race cars right here. Some race winners this season mixed in with some other drivers who have shown some speed. Timothy Emanuele here in the 20th spot. He's putting pressure on Justin White, and Joey Mines has gone the wrong direction since we saw him earlier. He went up the racetrack and dropped a few spots and has not been able to recover. It looks like the same issues going down into turn 1 and 2 as he makes some contact with Justin White, contact with Emanuele, and they are able to hang on to it, but that was big contact with the 39. Let's go back and see what happened there. That was very unusual. It looks like the 20 having some serious problems getting through 1 and 2, and he just comes down into the 2, and they're 3 wide right there. Timothy going to take a big hit. The car actually jumped up off the ground, so we'll see if that plays a role in how that car handles, as Lane Sulfridge almost made contact, and he's struggling as well. There's contact there. The Sulfridges get together, and then the 5 of Joshua Abbey, nowhere to go. Let's check out that. The 71 either getting on the apron. I'm not sure what happened there, but Joshua Abbey heavy contact with the back end of the 70 car of Lyle Sulfridge. And they drop right to around 30th position. So big contact there is, wow, look at the 7 of Brett Sommers really send it into the corner. He's riding back in the 31st position, well off your leaders. Actually nearly a lap down. Not sure what happened with some of these guys that are way back here, but they have clean race cars, just don't have the speed to keep up with the top 10 or top 15, as we've got Hutton now starting to put laps on race cars up here. Daniel Worthington in 33rd, about to go a lap down. We saw him get involved a little bit earlier with the 33 machine, and he will go a lap down now, as Ryan Gemmel has lost a bit of time. He had gained about 4 or 5 tenths on your leader, and now losing that once again as they work their way through the lap traffic. Hatchell right on the back bumper, down the back straightaway. Safe Ferris back here in the 9th position. Looks like he is making some progress finally, and I would expect to see him up inside the top 5, and Eric Holly the next car in line for him to pass as we're approaching the quarter-way mark through this race. Ferris moving forward, and very impressed with John Mullins right now in that number 64 machine. Looks like he potentially is under pressure from Pogo and Sullivan, as those three about in a line here. You can see the cars start to slide a little bit out of the corner, so maybe the tires starting to fall away for a lot of these drivers. And Stravato with the freshest tires, he is in the 16th position now, making some headway through the field, and he's right behind Justin Hendry. And 48 can go to the inside here out of turn 2. Looks like he's got a great run. Should be able to complete that pass down here in turns 3 and 4. Got Soda KBB 57 cheering on Eric Lambert as well, and Lambert up here in the top 15, doing a solid job so far. Up 6 spots from where he started, and he's got AJ Stravato charging hard behind him, a little ways behind him. So Seneca Racing, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. And right now, Eric Hutton putting a clinic on the rest of the field. Currently 1.2 seconds out in front of Gemmel and Hatchell. And Eric was so quick last week, just never found the top spot. Was challenging for the win late in the race, just could not get there. And then ended up a little ways back at the end of the event, but a nice solid finish for him. Thank you for the host, Seneca Racing. Appreciate that. Welcome viewers from Seneca. This is V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker, commentating on the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series here tonight from Iowa. Race number 3 of the series. Currently Eric Hutton is your leader. Just 54 laps into it. He's led every single lap after starting on the front row. He took the lead away from Hatchell, who is currently in the 3rd position, and Eric absolutely dominating so far, looking to try and lead the most laps. As you can see, Gemmel and Hatchell back here. Gemmel goes to the inside of Chris Wheeler, the 22 into the wall. Some of these guys really struggling with the race cars down in 1 and 2, as Joey Mines, the next car in line, he gets out of the way for Hatchell, or Gemmel and Hatchell rather. Brett Sommers also going a lap down. We saw Brett have some good speed at Daytona, and also a pretty solid run for a while, I believe, last week. But a little bit off the pace here. Currently showing back in the 28th spot, and Joey Mines has gone the wrong way after being up in the top 10. He is in the 29th position. Thank you, One Bad 11 Coyote. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. Thank you for the follow. As the battle for second really heating up, as Gemmel under pressure from Hatchell. Looks like Seth has arrived finally at the back bumper. We'll see if he tries to make a pass here. They do have some lap traffic. The Sulfridge is right there in front of them. And we'll see if Seth is able to do anything with Ryan here, but unable to make an attempt just yet. And they've got a huge gap on Jason Perkins back in the 4th position. But Hutton has the hard job of trying to navigate this traffic as the first car, and hope these guys notice him in their timing and scoring, as he gets right up alongside Justin Carey, nearly makes contact. Carey trying to stay on that lead lap, and they go by Jordan Brockle well off the pace. Brockle with heavy right front damage. Looks like he slammed that outside wall, and Justin Carey fighting to stay out there. Brockle in the wall once again, right in front of Gemmel and Hatchell. And this is a hornet's nest back here for the V-Speed Camaros. To the outside is the number 2 machine of Justin White. Next one there, Brandon Vasquez, they're going to have to navigate, and they haven't really lost any time through all of this to the leader, but not going forward, at least relative to him. They're hanging tough right around 1 second, 1.2 seconds away, as Hutton able to finally make the pass on Justin Carey, and he will try to drive away and maintain as much of this gap as he can. Take a look at Nick Starling back here, the 32 machine, finding himself in the 20th position, currently about 20 seconds off your leader. He started in 34th, making good progress, and he's right here behind Michael Newman, that 12th car who has some heavy nose damage. Newman going to drop to that 20th spot now as Starling takes it away. The 45 of Mark Beverly right here in the 18th position after starting in 30th. He's going the right direction as well. And Dan Dill, who started in the top 5, he got involved in the early accident, trying to find his way back towards the front. He was last place for a little while there, now up to 17th, so going the right direction and running some pretty solid lap times. Very competitive with the top 5. So we'll see if Dan can climb his way back up inside the top 10 here soon, but definitely a long ways to go. As Hatchell now goes to the inside of Gemmel. This is second position. We'll see if Ryan just lets him have it. I think that is going to be the case. Seth very quick here as this run has progressed. He was able to reel in Gemmel once again and finally make that pass work as he goes to second place. He tries to chase down the leader, Eric Hutton, and see if he can finally lead some laps. Another driver making some progress. AJ Stravato moving forward. He's up to 13th. Alan Dice, the next one up in front of him, in 12th position, also having a pretty solid day, up 10 spots from where he started as Stravato goes to the inside of Daniel Worthington. Jeremiah Vincent nearly won last week's race as he goes around Joey Mines in the 44 machine right there. Safe Ferris in the 10th spot. These guys not too far off where they started, but Jeremiah definitely not going the right direction. He's back about 7 spots as the 28 machine right there. Dennis Steele, he pitted 3 laps ago, either for fresh tires or fuel. I'm not exactly sure, but they should be able to go about 75 laps, I think. So pit stops should be starting here very shortly for your top few. As the 28, you can see the fresh tires working for him as he goes to the inside of the 44. Not able to make it work down the back straightaway, but this time in 3 and 4, he just drives right on past. And just for comparison, Dennis that time by 0.2 faster than your leaders while making passes, and fresh tires are good for about 1.5 seconds faster than the current pace of the race. So if you pit early, you can make up some time, but you're going to lose it on the back end of the run. We'll see what these guys elect to do as we're currently at lap 69, trying to get closer and closer to that pit window. And looking for drivers coming down. Doesn't look like, actually looks like Joey Mines finally comes down. He was very much struggling with that number 20 car. And it looks like he's sitting getting some damage repaired, possibly putting the tires on it, but it's been an extended pit stop. And Joey currently 36, 3 laps down. So up at the front here, Eric Hutton putting the 39 of Timothy Emanuele 1 lap down. Seth Hatchell able to get past Justin Carey a little farther behind. That gap now up to 1.7 seconds, so Seth not making any progress. Hutton really on rails here in this opening half of the race. And a nice long green flag run. He's been able to stretch that gap out. But he's got another huge mess of lap traffic up here that he's going to have to work through. So we see the 85 of Hendry, the 113 of Worthington, and others. Hutton able to get by the 14 machine, leaving just 20 cars on the lead lap. So he is moving at a pretty rapid pace here, and only 2 drivers have come down the pit lane so far. Joey Mines still, actually he's just coming off the pit lane, currently in 36th now, 4 laps down, but with fresh tires on that car. Oh, he's losing control, able to hang on. Joey really struggling here. Something definitely wrong with the 20 car as the 5 of Joshua Abbey up there. We saw him have some trouble earlier. Josh not having a great outing here tonight. He's in 29th position, and glad to have that win early on in the season, I'm sure. And last week didn't go so great for him as well, so good to get that victory. Lock himself in. He doesn't have to worry about his finishes here. It is still nice to get some solid runs to build that consistency, and really struggling here tonight with the damage on that race car. But Eric Hutton not struggling at all. He continues to show the way. And Seth Hatchell, you see him back there. Hatchell very sideways out of turn number 2. So he's trying to put that power down and chase down your leader. You can see him up there just past these 3 lap cars. And that gap remaining around 1.7 seconds, but Hatchell now has to go to the inside of Emanuele. The 85 of Hendry right there as well. And then I believe it's Mark Beverly, the next one. Mark, just double check that. Yep, Mark Beverly a lap down in the 18th position. Michael Newman, next one in line to get lapped as he goes very wide in turns 1 and 2. And there's Hutton right on the back bumper. They'll try and put that 12th car a lap down, so Safe Ferris off the pit lane. He's 2 laps down right now, 32nd position, but fresh tires. And he was coming through the field, so we'll see if Safe able to make up some ground here by the short pit. And looks like Brandon Vasquez, Justin Hendry on the pit lane as well. Trying to find anybody else that's bringing it down, but looks like green flag pit stops have started. And we'll see when the leaders bring it in here, but we're going to go side by side, and we will be right back.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also, check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at V-Speed Sim. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
Caution out on the racetrack. Looks like perhaps the 20 of Mines with an issue on the back straightaway. Unfortunate mistake there, as we were going through the green flag pit cycle. Going to trap many drivers 1 or 2 laps down. Joey really struggling to get moving here. Let's take a look at what happened. looks like it was a bit of a solo spin. He was 5 laps down or 4 laps down at the moment. All the way last car on the racetrack and struggling out of turn number 2, loses control, trying to hang on to it. As wow, big avoidance there. I believe that was Dennis Steele. Yes, it was. Dennis doing a good job. Let's see what he saw. See the 20 car losing control. He goes to the inside. Great job there. Nobody gets into Joey, but that 20 car was really struggling here. And he finally lost control of the race car. Going to bring out a caution as the driver's on the pit lane. Seth Hatchell not able to beat Eric Hutton off the pit lane, but the 77 will win that battle. Dan Dill electing to stay out here along with Michael Newman. Both drivers with over 70 laps on their tires. Let's see if we can get a word in with last week's winner, AJ Stravato. Here while we're under the caution flag. AJ Stravato, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do. How are you, man?
Great, and looks like you're making some progress finally here in tonight's race. You were back, kind of mired in the high 20s there. Looks like you were a little bit off on strategy and finally starting to climb back through. But how's the car feel? And you think you can follow up last week's win with another win here tonight?
Yeah, I didn't get a qualifying run in, so I was just making sure I stayed safe in the back and kind of clawed my way through the field. I think we got a lot of speed. I was just kind of gauging to see how the car felt. Feels good. Now we're up in the top 10 or so, so see what we can do and bring out this NRW photography Chevy out there.
Yes, they're definitely making progress up inside the top 10 and 9th right now. You know, we've seen a lot of drivers running various lines here tonight. What do you feel is working best for you right now?
Just kind of enter soft and just make sure you keep it on the bottom and just save that right front. If we can do that, I think we got a good shot.
All right, well, thanks for the quick insight here. Good luck with the rest of the race. We've got over 100 laps to go, so you got plenty of time to get up there and challenge for it, so good luck.
Thank you. Let's hope we survive.
All right, that was AJ Stravato, the number 48 machine. Move him back in with his teammate there. And last week's winner finally making some progress here tonight. He was way back in the pack, and we saw him climbing up inside the top 15. Now up inside the top 10. As Dan Dill remaining on the racetrack. Looks like he's the only one to do so. He's going to stay on the track. So Dan Dill leading some laps here. As lap cars getting wave arounds in front of him. And I believe pace car lights are going to be off. So Dan Dill going to lead you to the green flag here. And just to recap, we've had 3 cautions and just 1 lead change coming at the start of this race. Well, I think technically this was the first lead change between Dan Dill and Eric Hutton. As Hutton led the entire way up to that point, even though he started second. Dan Dill currently your leader here. And we'll see if the 81 can actually get rolling here. If he spins the tires, he's got Seth Hatchell right behind him, and Hatchell gonna have to be very careful to not drive right into him, knowing that he's going to be right behind him going down into turn 1. 81, good launch, though. Able to get away, actually get out in front of Eric Hutton. He's going to go to the high line. And that might help out Hatchell. But Hatchell has Gemmel to deal with, and those two have been very even throughout this race. So it looks like they're going to stay side by side, and Eric Hutton looks to the inside of Dan Dill, going to take that lead right back away. As, oh, the 81, a big wiggle there. He's going to catch the wall. And they stack up behind him. The 6 of Dallas Sullivan gets shot down to the apron, and they are 3 wide right here. Very dangerous situation, but they survive it. Good job as, oh, the 6 once again nearly making contact with Mullins, but the 64 able to get on through, and now Seth Hatchell back up in the second and try and chase down Hutton. As the 77 nearly brushing the wall, so maybe a little tight on the short run here. And caution back on the racetrack. It happens so frequently at this speedway as we see the 5 of Joshua Abbey. No front end. Also the 3 of Eric Lambert. The 113 of Daniel Worthington. Let's go check out what happened to these guys. As the 3 gets spun around there. And he gets slammed into by Timothy Emanuele. His second incident. Adding insult to injury, it appears. Let's see what happens. I think it might have started up a little bit farther. As there was a car in the wall. That was the 39. The 5 of Joshua Abbey was already spun out and in the wall. What the heck happened? He was racing up with Brett Somers. Somers a lap down. I think Joshua was also a lap down. He lost control underneath him, just a little too low on exit. He comes up the racetrack. Safe Ferris able to get past, but yeah, Timothy Emanuele, the 3 car, quite a few others. A 12 car contact there. Timothy sent way down the racetrack. And yeah, heavy contact for a lot of drivers. Eric Lambert, we already mentioned that. That car blown up. And then as they were trying to get back going, the 113 and the 3 makes some more contact. Timothy Emanuele, nowhere to go. He slides into him. Man, crazy incident right there. Can really throw off the race for a lot of these guys. See if we can get a word in with somebody here. See if there's anybody that has had any issues starting to recover. It looks like Jason Perkins, he had pitted during that green flag cycle. He got trapped a lap down, but definitely showed some speed. So we'll see if we can find Jason. Ask him a couple questions here. Jason Perkins, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Adam. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you. Looks like you're starting to make a recovery here. You got trapped a lap down, I believe, during the green flag cycle, but you were up there racing inside the top 5. What's your car got here tonight at Iowa?
I think we're going to be able to have a good run. Just kind of letting things play out lap by lap here. Burnt it up a little bit in the beginning, trying to get up to front, and just fun to ride around.
Yes, sir. And were you hoping to kind of leapfrog some of those guys by pitting a little bit earlier, or is it coming down to just, stretching the fuel at that point?
Yeah, no, I was definitely trying to make some ground by pitting earlier. I probably could have gone another 5-6 laps at that point, but just fun to see if I could make something happen.
Yes, sir, and we'll see if you can recover. You're definitely on your way there, close to the top 10, so good luck the rest of the way here in the second half.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was Jason Perkins as we put him back down. Not sure where he was. Nope, he was all by himself in one of these chat channels, but he rides in 13th position, that number 49 car. Up at the front, pace car lights still on. We're going to cut quickly to a very short commercial, and we will be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Back on the racetrack now, preparing to go green flag racing once again. Eric Hutton continues to show the way and dominate this race so far, approaching the halfway point. Hatchell going to try and challenge him here on this restart. We'll see if he can time it right. So hard to get the timing down in these iRacing restarts as the 77 goes right away. Green flag in the air once again from Iowa for the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series as Ryan Gemmell puts pressure on Hatchell straight away. And John Mullins right in the mix there as well, but it looks like Seth going to be able to hold on to second and fight off the advances of Ryan Gemmell. We'll see if Seth can get up there and do anything to challenge that 77, who has looked to be in a league of his own here so far. But John Mullins making good progress. He's hanging right there with these guys. Dallas Sullivan is looking to the inside of Eric Holly, and right behind them, Stravato up in the top 10, and caution once again. Cautions, breeding cautions. Looks like the 14 machine. Thomas Brendel with issues here on this restart. Let's go take a look at what happened here. Thomas was running just outside the top 20, I believe. One lap down. Coming out of the corner. Oh, Jordan Bracco in front of him. Oh, and he nearly had it avoided. Sent him around into the outside wall. Heavy contact. And unfortunate there. Just not a whole lot you can do. As Bracco, who has been struggling a bit here since about lap 50, just gets sideways coming out of the low exit there, and then the 14 of Brendel just unable to get around him. And looks like the flag man telling him to get away. But Thomas not going to be too happy about that, I'm sure. Wasn't having the best run, but he's still having a solid enough run in the group of the one lap down cars. And we'll see if he comes to get any of that damage repaired. He currently rides in the 27th position. Doesn't look like anybody really sitting on the pit lane except for Timothy Emanuele, who just brought it in. He's been on pit lane for about 17 seconds so far, and looks like an extended stop for the number 39 machine. So cautions, breeding cautions here tonight. And it's gonna... I've seen a lot of Iowa races, and sometimes they go like this, where it's you got nice green flag stretches. Sometimes the races go almost entirely green, and then other races they're almost entirely caution filled. And we've had a little bit of both here tonight, with the 5 cautions so far here in the first 100 laps. Your biggest lap leader, Eric Hutton, currently leading the way, 95 out of 99 laps completed. And we're just going to do a quick field rundown since we've got a little bit of time to kill during this caution. Seth Hatchell in second. He started on the pole. He's been up in the mix here in the top 3, but unable to get back to the front. Ryan Gemmell has been in the top 2 or 3 all race long as well. Currently in third. John Mullins right now in fourth. He's made some progress up from 12th. Eric Holly in the number 25 machine there, up 30 positions from where he started. So Eric, very quick here, and he's actually got one of the fastest laps in the race, top 5 or 10 fastest laps. So definitely has the speed to be up here. Dallas Sullivan started 10th. He's up to 6th. AJ Stravato has made huge strides here in this last 50 laps or so, up from 27th to 7th. Jeff Pogo right around where he started in the 8th position. Zach Smith up 20 spots. Alan Dice up 12 spots. Wes Weigand up 8 spots here early. John Perkins, the 49 car, or Jason Perkins rather, we just talked to him. He's currently in the 12th spot. Nick Starling up 21 positions in that 32 car. Justin Carey, who we saw go a lap down earlier, he's actually back on the lead lap in the 14th position. Dan Dill now in 15th. Michael Newman in 16th. Jordan Shepler in 17th. Jeremiah Vincent getting passed up by Timothy Emanuele. I'm not sure if he had a pit road violation, but he is dropping to the tail end of the field, it appears. Timothy Emanuele showing his 18th. Mark Beverly, first car 1 lap down in 20th. I'm going to check back at the front of the field here, see if we're going green again. Does not appear that way. Safe Ferris in the 21st spot. He got trapped a lap down after pitting a bit earlier. Lyle Sulfridge in 22nd. He was involved in an incident earlier. Brett Sommers, 23rd. Justin Hendry, 24th. Brandon Vasquez, 25th. Thomas Brendel, 26th after that last caution. Joshua Abbey, 27th. Dennis Steele, 28th. 29th. Kyle Payne, 30th. Chris Wheeler, 31st. Lane Sulfridge, 32nd. Justin White, 33rd. Jordan Brockle. He's a few laps down here. The car doesn't look too terrible, but definitely some damage. Daniel Worthington, 34th. 35th, Joey Mines. And last driver on the racetrack is Eric Lambert in 36th. John Flamion and Eric Gallion taking it behind the wall here in 37th and 38th, respectively. And getting back to going green, pace car rolls off. Eric Hutton going to try and get another jump here, and he does. Great jump by Eric Holly a little farther back. He timed it perfectly. He got right to the bumper of Gemmel, who takes away second. Hatchell losing a spot here on this restart, trying to fight off the 25, and he will do so for the moment. But Gemmel and Hatchell consistently trading those second and third positions in the V-Speed Camaros, as we see Dallas Sullivan try and make a move to the outside of John Mullins, but not able to get there. As here comes Stravato to the inside. Stravato wants a piece of the top 5. And we heard him say he had pretty good speed. Just was playing it very safe, very cautious in the opening laps here after starting towards the very back. Oh, and Jeff Pogo, big wiggle down low. He's going to lose a couple spots. And Alan Dice going to try and take advantage, go around the outside here. Not able to get the run just yet. Is Pogo going to slide up in front of him? And here comes Jason Perkins, trying to make progress back up towards the top 5. We saw him run up there, a big wiggle out of the corner. He's going to stay right alongside Alan Dice as they head down the front straightaway into turn number 1. I'm going to go on board here with Seth Hatchell once again, just to see what he's trying to do here to keep up with these top 2. See, very smooth throttle application. You got to roll into it very easily. Got to be very smooth through these corners here as he gets a little wiggle coming out of the turn. Trying to make a move on his teammate there, not able to complete that pass. As they work their way down the front straightaway, Eric Hutton stretching the gap out now to around 1 second. Actually, that jumped back down to half a second. Not sure what that was. As we see Eric Lambert finally rolling back on the racetrack. Let's see if he can make up a few more spots and do what he did last week. Just through perseverance, try and make up some more points. But not a great couple of races here. As Nick Starling fighting with Wes Wigan here, 12th and 13th position. They are side by side in turn number 1. Almost contact as the 188 trying to keep it down, but unable to. He'll throw the block on Safe Ferris, who is a lap down, fighting for that lucky dog position. And he currently has it. Dan Dill is the 14th place car. Not a challenger for that lucky dog. But I think Safe just trying to run as fast a laps as he can get out of the back of the pack and try and make some progress as he puts move there on the 188 of West Wagon, and now go out in front of him. Up at the front, Eric Hutton continuing to show the way. Just absolutely dominant here. No one has been able to touch him all race long. 106 laps led out of 110. The only driver to lead laps other than him was Dan Dill, and that was just through the pit cycle, with him staying out on very old tires. Let's take a look at the number 3 of Lambert. That car pretty well beat up on all 4 corners. Lap times looking decent though. He's in the 24-second range. About 7/10 off your leaders times right now. And he's currently in the 36th position. Currently not set up to gain any spots, but if anyone falls out of this race, he's going to be in good position to do so. Currently 17 laps down. Joshua Abbey out here with no nose on that car. Should be getting plenty of cooling to the engine. But iRacing sometimes sees it differently as what it's actually doing. It looks like AJ Stravato now in the top 5. He's starting to put some pressure on Eric Hawley. Actually going to go to the inside of him here down into turn 3. So this battle for the 4th position. Very close racing side by side. The 48 gets a good run out of the corner there. He's still alongside. So go down the long curve front straightaway into turn 1. Another great run out of the corner there. Not able to clear him just yet. So going to turn 3, he will clear him now. And Eric Hawley going to drop back to the 5th position. So Stravato showing speed here at Iowa, following up the race he won last week at Texas with a very clutch restart in the overtime, or just very late in the race rather. So Stravato looking for back-to-back. He's gotten up into contention now. Still has a little ways to go. It's John Mullins back here in 6th, currently fighting off Dallas Sullivan and others. John has had a very strong run here tonight. Started in the 12th position. He's been up inside the top 7 or 8 the entire race. And doing a great job up here, holding on to that spot as Zach Smith up into the 10th position. He's brought Nick Starling along with him in the 11th position. Those guys have really climbed through the field here tonight. Jason Perkins back inside the top 10. Looks like he is on his way back towards the front. As there goes Smith down to the inside of Perkins. It's going to be a tough pass to complete. That 49 car has been pretty strong. As Zach gets a big wiggle out of the corner trying to hang on. Going to cost him a position to Starling. And we've seen that happen so many times here tonight, where a driver thinks they can complete that pass and they just overdo it. Coming out of that turn number 4 in the low groove. Just not able to make it work. As now it looks like Mullins under some serious pressure from Sullivan. That 6 car has been pretty quick here the last couple of weeks, and now he goes to the outside. Big run in the middle of 1 and 2. And I think he's going to be able to get past him, as the 64 going to fight back down low, but it's going to be in vain, as here comes the 24 and the 49. We'll see if Perkins has the same problem that Smith had. No issues putting the power down there, but here comes Starling to the outside. Outside lane so dominant at this racetrack. But if you can get that low line to work in 1 and 2, it can be a recipe for some serious speed. But I think you'll cook the tires a bit faster than you'd like. As now Pogo, the one trying to set up the 64, make that pass to get up into 7th position. As he looks down low, out of turn number 2, is Nick Starling going to jump back to the outside. Same move we saw. just a moment ago. Jason Perkins tried to pull the same move, and it didn't work out for him. And here comes Starling, going to take advantage. Just playing it smart, rolling that outside line as he almost makes contact. Oh, I think he did with Mullins. Now looks down low, big run out of the corner. They're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway. A bold move by the 32. That's going to be a tough corner to make as he almost washes up into the 24. And bold moves there, almost costing these guys. But here he goes once again. The 24 going to throw a block. Starling way down on the racetrack. It's 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Perkins trying to keep it off the wall. I think he did, but it was very close. Jason Perkins not going the right direction like he was. He's been kind of caught up here in this group. Oh, as he gets a little bit of a slide there. Coming out of the corner, he's able to power around the outside of Zach Smith. Still riding in that 10th position. Up here, the battle for second heating up once again. It's Hatchell and Gemmel. These guys have been running right next to each other all race long, whether it's this order or flip-flopped. And AJ Stravato starting to stalk them and reel them in. That 48 car has the speed, and he is showing up right now. Still a ways to go. I believe they'll still have to make at least one pit stop. They've got 42 laps on this stint, and I think the pit window is about 70 or 80 laps. Some drivers might elect to pit early, but like we saw during that last green flag sequence, very dangerous to do so. As they're coming up behind Eric Lambert, the number 3 car, well off the pace. He's going to go to the inside, let them battle it out up high. Very courteous move there by the 3 as Lambert, or Stravato rather, continues to close. That gap now just about 8 car lengths between Hatchell and Stravato. The gap up to Eric Hutton, about 15 car lengths, maybe more. Ryan Gemmel fighting hard. He hasn't had the finishes that he would like this season. Looking for a very solid run here. He's run a fantastic race in that second spot, but the only driver who's run a better one has been Eric Hutton. That car just on rails all race long. He's led all but 4 laps here at Iowa. The 14 machine up high. He gets out of the way. There goes Hutton to the inside. Gonna put him another lap down. See who else we can check on back here. Joey Mines still on the racetrack. That car really not that damaged, but man, he has struggled here. And you can see just putting that power down, that car wiggles all over the place. Not sure if he broke something with one of the spins or the issues that he's had, but caution on the racetrack. Trying to find out who it was. Perhaps the 21. Oh, 32 is Starling. Let's go take a look. We knew they were fighting it up back here. These guys were not even giving each other an inch. As here goes Starling, making it 3 wide once again, coming up out of the corner. Little contact with Mullen, sends that car around. He catches the grass, spins it up into the racing groove. And that's going to bring out a caution 10 times out of 10. He backs it down the racetrack. No real damage, just the right front contact, but Starling goes around to bring out another caution here. And Joshua Abbey reporting in here that he just blew up, so he's going to come home. Looking like 36th position here tonight. Disappointing after winning at Daytona. Not a very successful race last week. He was in the top 10 for quite a portion of that race at Texas. And then things just didn't fall the right way with the cautions and the pit cycle. and I believe he ended up outside the top 20, but going to be another difficult race here tonight, but still has that win to rely on, and has shown some speed and strength here early on in the season as Eric Hutton rolls off the pit lane. Hatchell going to be second. Looks like Stravato third. So AJ Stravato, unless he got a penalty, we'll have to see. Yeah, looks like third. And Safe Ferris gets the lucky dog. So he is back on the lead lap. He'll have to bring it down the pit lane here, and hopefully you can get a bit more of that damage fixed. But 25 cars currently showing on the lead lap. I believe some will take a wave around here. And actually, it looks like quite a few bringing it down the pit lane. Those drivers all multiple laps down. And we'll get an idea of the running order as things start to sort out here with the pit cycle. But we are going to go to another commercial break after another quick caution. We will be right back with the green flag.
There you see Dale Earnhardt, the defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his fourth win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Brett Bodine gave Jerry Cranmer a nudge in the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition.
And we are back at the racetrack. Had to cut that commercial a little bit short, but those NASCAR Legends cars, so much fun to drive. You've got a throwback V-Speed t-shirt you can actually grab on our store, sporting the V-Speed Monte Carlo from 1987. And green flag back in the air. We are underway once again from Iowa for the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series as AJ Stravato looks to the inside of Seth Hatchell, and he's going to take second away. Hatchell going to try and fight back and cross him over as the 48 gets sideways. And Hatchell, a big run down the backstretch. Looks like he will be able to complete the pass, get back in a second. But here comes the 48 trying to use the outside line. And he's going to at least take third away. And Gemmel going to drop to fourth, which I believe is the lowest he's been all race. As Stravato, last week's winner, has found his way up into the mix. There's caution on the track once again. These guys making contact here on these restarts. The 6 car, Dallas Sullivan going around here. Looks like Daniel Worthington also involved. Let's take a look. So Dallas Sullivan was involved. You see the 113 of Worthington up there. He gets loose into the wall, slams it, and Dallas Sullivan nowhere to go. Ooh, the 70 machine able to just narrowly avoid that. Man, hard contact for Dallas Sullivan. Let's go back and see what he saw when that all started happening. You can see the 113. Just clips the side. Dallas bounces off the outside wall. And a little bit of contact there with another race car, but just barely skimmed him. And definitely disappointing, as Dallas was up there inside the top 10 all race, and now finds himself outside the top 20. He's going to have to get that damage repaired as well. So to recap, 7 cautions, some of these coming in rapid succession. We've only got 60 laps to go when they cross the line next time, so not a whole lot remaining, and we had a run earlier that was over 75 laps, so I know these guys have it in them. It's definitely tough, and things get a lot more intense as you get down to these last few laps, but struggling here on some of these restarts to get things going and bringing out some cautions in sequence here. So once again, Eric Hutton, your leader. He's going to have control of the restart. Seth Hatchell going to be on the outside. AJ Stravato in third. And Ryan Gemmel going to be rolling off in fourth on this restart. If you are enjoying the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. Also check us out on all of these other social media links. Facebook.com/VSpeedSim, where we post race announcements before each and every broadcast, as well as other sim racing news. You can check us out on Instagram at VSpeedSim, where we post some great sim racing content as well, and some in-person, on-site photos at racetracks when we do go to races, as well as other real-world racing events. You can also find us on Twitter at VSpeedSim, where we post the same announcements that you'd find on Facebook, as well as other NASCAR-related content, other motorsports content. So check us out on all those platforms. Give us a like or follow. We would really appreciate it. We appreciate all of you tuning in here tonight. Appreciate all the follows and the subscription earlier. It really helps a lot with continuing to bring you great racing content throughout the week. And a lot of downtime in this one here tonight. And if you're just tuning in, this is the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. Third race of the season. We're at Iowa tonight, so let's actually bring up a little bit of track information. If you're not familiar with the Iowa Speedway, it's a great racetrack, 7/8 of a mile, kind of loosely modeled after Richmond Raceway in Virginia. This was co-developed by Rusty Wallace, who was very successful at Richmond and loves that racetrack, and he decided to model this track after it. And a very fun track, multiple racing grooves and lines, and we've seen quite a bit of action here so far. In this race, 200 laps, 175 total miles. We are approaching about a 2-hour session here. But green flag going to be coming out next time by, and we'll see if we can get a nice long run into the end here. These guys can start to settle things out. We've had about 3 or 4 cautions come right after, one after another. But I think they can do it. I think they can get something going here once again. Continue to cheer on your favorite driver in chat. Let us know who you are rooting for. Hobby Farmer cheering on Seth Hatchell, the number 8 machine. Cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know who you're rooting for. We'll try and follow along with them in the last little bit of this race, as Eric Hutton waiting on that green flag. Hatchell all the way out by the wall. Not sure what that was. Hatchell with connection problems or some type of issues, washing up into the wall. He's going to lose a lot of ground. That allows Stravato to second. We saw these two fighting for the win last week, along with many others. Jeremiah Vincent was really the leader in that one, but these two were not far behind. And Hatchell able to recover. He's still in fourth, now going to try and get to the back bumper of his teammate Ryan Gemmel, but unfortunate. Not sure what happened as he tagged the wall on the restart. And here's Jeff Pogo right on his back bumper, along with Jason Perkins back up in the top 6. Jason going to look to the inside of Pogo, right down along that yellow line. Not going to be able to make it work just yet as the 25 of Holly running right up towards the wall. He's going to get in behind him and start to put some pressure on the 49. Stravato really driving the wheels off this thing now. He's got the leader in his sights, looking for back-to-back wins. That gap right around 0.4 of a second. These two have been some of the fastest cars all race long. AJ was mired in the back of the pack. Started back in 27th position and now starting to close the gap on Hutton. 77's been able to drive away from everybody else tonight. Stravato keeping up with him for the moment. I think that 77 just so much better in turn 4 than a lot of other drivers here tonight. As Eric leads him down into turn number 3, the gap back up over 0.3 of a second. Didn't have a great lap previously, but this time by fastest car on the racetrack, so had to get it fired off and finally get some momentum built up, and now he's really rolling here. That time a 10th faster than Stravato, and he's continuing to stretch that gap back out. So 77 finding something here that the other drivers have not been able to. Take a look a little farther back. Alan Dice, Dan Dill, Michael Newman, and Safe Ferris trying to get back up in the top 10. He's in 12th position, putting pressure all over Michael Newman. Not able to make it past just yet. It's behind him. It's Jeremiah Vincent. Jeremiah had a very, I'd say, average day. As he started in 4th, he's gone the wrong way with a bit of right side damage and has not been able to really climb back into the top 10 here, right around the 12th to 15th position all race long. And that's where he finds himself right now. And John Mullins, who we saw get involved in that previous accident, trying to make his way back forward up towards the top 5. But not able to get past Vincent just yet. As this group of race cars coming down to turn number 2, Safe Ferris trying to get up inside the top 10 here, looking to the inside of Dan Dill. He goes down in very deep in that corner, side by side out of the corner. 81 trying to put the power down. At 44 with a big run down low. He's looking like he's going to be able to complete this. Wow, Jeremiah Vincent really deep into the corner there. 44 still unable to complete that pass, but he's inching closer and closer to doing so. That time forces the 81 up the track just a little bit more and still unable to clear him. 81 really fighting hard to stay up in contention. We saw Dan, one of the fastest early in this race, but then spun out and has been climbing through the field ever since. There goes Safe right on past. I think he's going to clear him this time, but the 81 fights back. Really deep run into the corner, up along the wall, and he's going to tag the wall there. He actually rubbed up against it, and 44 drives on past. Here comes Jeremiah Vincent trying to complete some passes as well. He's trying to get away from John Mullins, who has been very quick in climbing back up through the field. The 9 car working the inside line, the only one among those 4 cars to do so. and it is not working. He's not able to make any progress there. Meanwhile, AJ Stravato still within striking distance of your leader. That's the gap right there. Half a second. Here the tires starting to lose a little bit of grip. They've already fallen off about 0.7 of a second from their fast laps. Stravato keeping the 77 honest though. It's gonna be a pretty great battle if he can get up there and start fighting with him. Gemmel a little too far back and Hatchell even farther, but all of them pretty well spaced out evenly. And Stravato actually a great run out of the corner there. He closed the gap by about a car length and a half. Down to under 0.4 of a second, so matching lap times. 48, a big run in the center there. You can see how hard he's pushing that race car. He's got to be careful not to use all the tires up too quickly. As the 77 runs a bit higher through turns 3 and 4, 48 runs lower. And makes up a little ground on the entry, loses it all back on the exit. As they make their way past Eric Lambert, the 3 car still trying to make up some spots here as he moves up to 34th now. So gaining a couple points since coming back out on the racetrack. As these two still at the front starting to stretch away pretty far from Gemmel, now 1.2 seconds behind Stravato. And Hatchell is not too far behind him as well. Jeff Pogo here in the 5th position. He's gotten away from Eric Holly and others. Jason Perkins still trying to get back up towards the top 5. He's in 7th. Zach Smith has recovered from an earlier mistake. He's in the 8th position right now. Alan Dice 9th. Safe Ferris in the 10th spot. Trying to bring Jeremiah Vincent along with him. A nice little run going right here though, and it's looking like it could be possible for them to make it all the way under green. I don't want to jinx anything, but this is the 2nd or 3rd longest run that we've had in this race already. And Stravato really putting pressure on Hutton now. That gap under 0.3. As you see, they both go into the corner here. 77 working the higher groove. Really carries a lot of speed, but that outside wall comes up on you quick. That time, Stravato not able to keep up with him. Caution on the track. I jinxed it. I did. Looks like the 12 car involved in this one. The 12 of Michael Newman, slow on the racetrack. Even more damage on that Altel Chevy Camaro. Let's go back and take a look. See Nick Starling, John Mullins. Oh, the 3 of Eric Lambert gets into him. Starling gets checked up. The 21 of Justin Carey comes in and turns the 12 car around. Let's see another angle here. Oops, that's not the angle I was looking for. That's the angle. The 3 car well off the pace. Not enough room there in that low line, and just a accordion effect right there sends the 12 car around. So Michael Newman gonna have some damage to fix. See if he can make anything out of these last 35 or so laps. And that's gonna be our 8th caution of the night. Still just the 2 lead changes coming between Eric Hutton and Dan Dill. Pretty surprising. Looks like a lot of drivers on the pit lane right now, though. We'll see if anyone tries anything. Timothy Emanuele has stayed on track. There goes Hatchell, losing a few spots. Oh, maybe Gemmel at the line. We'll have to see. I think Hutton still got him. We'll have to see how things get scored as they come back around, but at the moment it looks like Hutton going to be the leader off of pit road. Ryan Gemmel able to leapfrog AJ Stravato, which could hurt AJ, but might actually help him if the 16 is going to be on the outside here. The 48 would probably, he'd be on the inside of row 2, which has worked out pretty well for many drivers this race. But once again, cautions breeding cautions, and that was a pretty solid run, around 30 laps for us. But tough to avoid other drivers tonight here in the cornfields of Iowa. It's been pretty tough for a lot of these drivers to keep their race cars clean. Let's see if we can bring somebody up into the booth here, do a quick interview. We can talk with Mr. Dan Dill if he is down in the voice channel. There he is.
Who dat?
Dan Dill, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. Oh, Dan Dill, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Dan, we saw you have a lot of speed early on in this race. You were up challenging inside the top 5, got turned around, and you've been recovering ever since. But we just saw you outside the top 5, maybe a little miscue on the pit stop. You're back to 14th. How's the car feeling? You think you can get up there and challenge for a top 5 tonight?
I don't know about top 5. I think I can get back in the top 10. It's just getting a little tight on the long run, and you really got to push it to try to maintain your track position, so you don't have the option of saving the tires.
Yeah, we've heard that from a few drivers, that it is tough to save them out there, and this track's so difficult to complete passes when that high line is pretty dominant. But we've seen you making your way. You've made a lot of passes. You know, what's really been the key, even with all that damage?
I don't think the damage is really slowing me up too much. The big thing with me is if you let off a little early, you can get it to rotate, and you can get a pretty good exit where you can put the throttle down. And with a lot of guys not being able to do that, it makes it to where you can get under them and get by them, usually clear them by the next corner, in which case then you can go back to the top.
Yes, sir, and you've definitely been making it work here. We look forward to seeing if you can get back up there in the top 10, maybe challenge for a top 5 here before it's all said and done. But good luck here in these last 30 laps.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was Dan Dill, the number 81, who's been all over the field here tonight. He was up challenging inside the top 5 early, got turned around, and now going to try and climb his way back in once again. But on the front row, it's Eric Hutton, Ryan Gemmel, getting ready to take us back under green here at Iowa, and going to be less than 30 to go. Can Ryan Gemmel challenge that 77? Can anybody challenge that 77? Ooh, maybe spinning the tires there on the 48. He's going to get alongside Gemmel, and I think he's going to take this spot away. That 48's been very strong all race long, and he's been the only one that's kept the 77 honest here this entire race, and it's just been in the last 30 laps. As the 48 able to get settled into second, the V-Speed Camaro's behind him in third and fourth. Very strong race, but things are scattered all over the front straightaway. Wow, it was 3-4 wide, I think, from, oh wow, yeah, big slides all over the place. I think it was Brandon Vasquez, a 19 car. Yeah, they got sideways. The 49 of Perkins was around. Lots of chaos here as everybody tried to find their way. Just saw that out of the peripherals. As Eric Hutton starting to stretch that gap out now with fresh tires. He's found his rhythm once again. The 48, about a half second back. Does Stravato have anything to challenge the 77 machine? And the V-Speed Camaro's right there waiting in the wake in case anything does happen. And take a look at Safe Ferris up to 7th position. Challenging for 6th right now. Great recovery for the 44 who got trapped laps down earlier. Coming into tonight's race, Seth Hatchell was your points leader. Eric Hutton comes in 5th. Not too far behind him, and then Safe Ferris was 3rd coming in, so this is going to help his points position as well with a nice solid run recovery here. But meanwhile at the front, Hutton still maintaining that half-second gap. Stravato chopping a little bit out of it every now and then the 77 puts it right back on him. See how hard AJ driving it into turn 3 and 4. And it works out on the front end, but he loses all that time back on the straightaways. The 77 waits a little bit longer on the throttle, gets that car pointed. Gets a nice straight exit off. The 48 really diving it in there. Caution back on the racetrack. The 32 of Starling around once again. Let's take a look at what happened to Nick here. He's been involved in a couple things here tonight. Let's go take a look. There's a massive impact you're going to see in just a moment. Looks like Nick was racing it up with Brett Sommers, and they get loose in front of him. He makes contact with the 7, very similar to what we saw happen earlier to him. And he tries saving it, brings it up the racetrack, and then he gets a hard impact here. The 19 of Vasquez, who was involved earlier on in this run. Heavy impact. Nick goes flying through the air. Almost looked like the car was stuck. That was very odd. He was spinning the tires. Let's try and get a look at this again. I'm going to go on board with him, actually. Oh, he was just starting to get rolling, and cars came in from behind. Heavy damage. Heavy contact. He's going to bring it on pit lane here. No doubt about that. And it looks like the top 15 all remaining on the racetrack. Gemmel and Hatchell actually bringing it down the pit lane. Safe Ferris as well. Interesting call. We'll see if it pays off for the V-Speed Camaros. This is a very interesting strategy call for sure, with not a lot of time remaining in the cautions we've been having. Unless something happens, or unless this goes green, I don't know if they've got a shot at a win. And I believe they will gain another spot back. Looks like Brett Sommers on the pit lane. Yeah, so they will move up to 15th and 16th. But still not exactly where you'd want to be, so we'll have to see if it works out for them. As it's going to be Hutton and Stravato, and we're going to cut to commercial break and be right back with the green flag.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Field working their way around double file. We're headed back towards the green flag. Cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know who you think's going to win this thing with under 20 laps to go. Eric Hutton and AJ Stravato find themselves at the front of the field. A heavy impact by Nick Starling brought out the last caution. We're 9 cautions into this thing. 5 in the first 100 laps, 4 so far this half. But we'll see if we can make it to the green with no more yellows, or to the checkered with no more. Oh, Eric Hutton, big wiggle on the start. Stravato, just like he did at Texas, able to time it and get alongside down into turns 1 and 2 here. Can the 48 take it away? He takes the lead away. Stravato coming up clutch here once again. He's got to hold off Eric Hutton, the 77 who's dominated this race. Just like last week, Jeremiah Vincent dominated, but Stravato stole it away at the end. It's coming back to that, and we got to keep an eye on the V-Speed Camaros trying to make their way through the field. It's Jeremiah Vincent back here. He's making a little contact with Dan Dill, going the wrong way now. Gemmel up to 13th, Hatchell still back in 15th. Oh, contact, someone sliding. That was Alan Dice. What a save by the 57 as he gets tagged by the 188 of Wigan. Everybody checks up. Gemmel comes flying through. Hatchell checked up on the low line. Going to cost him immensely. And caution back out on the racetrack. The 32, or not the 32 rather. This is the 13 machine. Jordan Shepler, heavy damage on that race car. And that's caution number 10 here, folks. You're keeping count. Jordan Shepler. Not sure if he started this or what happened exactly. Oh, it had already happened. The 71 of Sulfridge. Lane Sulfridge, heavy contact there. He went to the inside. Slams into Joey Mines. Also, that was Hendry already around. So 2 or 3 incidents happening at the same time. Oh, this was after everybody had checked up. 85 of Hendry. He gets tagged by the 118, gets sent around by Sommers. Hatchell all in the middle of that. The 85 goes around. There's a big impact there. The 2 lucky that he phased right through. That's when you're thankful for netcode. But the 13 of Shepler and the 70 of, or 71 rather, of Lane Sulfridge, heavy contact. He's going to be probably done for the night. Involved in caution number 10 here. He brings it to pit lane. Meanwhile, AJ Stravato, what a key restart. The 77 spun the tires badly, and Stravato able to jump him on the outside and take that lead away. Only the 3rd leader, or maybe the 4th leader actually in this race. Definitely led the 2nd most laps with now 6, which is saying something because Hutton behind him has led 176. He has absolutely dominated this race. No one could touch him except for the 48. And it took the 48 a long time to get there as he started way back in the pack. But it's going to come down to these 2, I believe. And Eric Holly up to 3rd. He's had a very strong run as well. He's gained 32 spots in this race and has been one of the fastest on the racetrack. So can he challenge these top two? Does he have anything to win the race? Gemmel back inside the top 10 in 10th position, but they did not want to see that caution, especially right in front of them. Hatchell not making any progress. He's up to 15th now. Restarted 16th. So he gained 1 spot through all of that. And not where the pole sitter and points leader wanted to be with so few laps remaining, I'm sure. So this has gotten very interesting here in the closing laps. I did not expect things to get shaken up as much as they have. I thought Hutton was just going to drive away with it. But Stravato found his way to the front. And if you're just joining us, it's the closing laps of the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. Race number 3 from Iowa. Eric Hutton in second has dominated this entire race, leading almost all of the laps except for about 15. And he finds himself second here coming up on this restart. Pace car light's going to turn off. Stravato elects to take the inside lane. I don't blame him there. If you can get a good jump, that is the line to take. And Hutton going to be on the outside the first time, other than Dan Dill controlling the restart, that Hutton will not control a restart in this race. And we'll see if he can time it perfectly, but the 48 with the advantage now. See if Hutton has anything to get back past him. And Eric Hawley, he's charged through the field. You know, he's hungry for a win. Eric Hawley comes in 15th in points, so a win here would lock him into the playoffs and would be a huge boost to his confidence. As the 48 gets going, there goes Hutton with him. Good restart by the 77. He should be able to hang on for second place as Stravato, a little blink there. 77 does come down in front of the 25. He's going to hang on to second. We'll see if he's got anything to get back to the 48. Clean air does work wonders, though. He gets a big run out of turn 4. He's been so good on that end of the racetrack. Under 10 to go as they're fighting it up at the back half of the top 10. This is for the win among these top 2. Car in the wall, that's Gemmel. He got hit on the left side, it appears, and he slammed the right side into the wall. He's 10th right now. Teammate Seth Hatchell closing in from behind. As Stravato just a car length and a half in front of Hutton. This is the win right here on the line between these two. It's so even through this end of the racetrack. 77 a little bit loose coming out of turn 2, but he closes the gap down a half car length. Now he goes looking to the inside of the 48. Not going to make it happen just yet. Stravato hanging on by a thread here. Laps winding down. Hutton running out of time. He's going to have to make something work if he wants a victory here. He goes in a little bit too low that time. Loses some ground on the exit and caution back out. Looks like the 84 of Brockle gets spun around here on the racetrack. Let's go take a look what happened to Jordan. Brockle coming out of turn 4. Looks good there. Might have happened in front of him, actually. Go down in the corner. Yes, big damage. 57 of Alan Dice. Wow, he was on his roof. The 7 of Somers gets turned around. The 57 head on into the wall, into the catch fence, on top of Safe Ferris. might be in trouble. I don't know if he has his pilot's license. That car in the air, flying through the air. I can't believe he landed on top of the 44. That is absolutely a wild incident. And then Jordan Brockle comes flying in, and the 57 was rolling down the track, and heavy damage there for both of those race cars. What an impact. As Stravado finding himself in a great spot once again. But it could come down to a green-white checkered. So we're going to cut to a quick message from the series sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at VSpeedSyn. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
That was a quick message from the Brawl Network and the NASCAR Brawl podcast. Check those guys out wherever podcasts are found or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I listen to mine on the Apple Podcast app or Spotify, which is where you can find the NASCAR Brawl app, or podcast rather. And they had a great episode with Steve Post from MRN, the Postman, as their first episode of the series, and they are releasing another episode here shortly. As these guys gonna get going here, it's gonna be an overtime restart. And I believe we get 3 attempts in this series. This is gonna get very, very interesting here. Gloves are off. Things are gonna get crazy. It's AJ Stravado, Eric Hutton. Those two race cars looking for a win. Stravado looking for back-to-back wins. We talked to him earlier. He said he had speed, and that has been the case for sure. He drove up here. He got a perfect restart alongside the 77, able to pass him, and he's held on to it ever since. Pace car off. Green flag back in the air. Stravado, a good jump. There goes Eric Holly to the inside. That could be the race right there if he gets alongside the 77. The 77 throws the block down into turn 1, and Holly gonna have to settle in for 3rd position as Hutton only a couple laps to work. He's gonna try and find his way up there and challenge for that win. The car length, or the gap, just a car length and a half as he runs a little bit higher out of turn 4. A good run. He's there, 1 car length. The difference at the line, white flag in the air. Another exciting finish coming up here from the Brawl Cup Series. Oh, the 48 goes wide. The 77 cuts underneath him. It's going to be hard to complete this pass. Heavy contact behind him. That is Jason Perkins and others, but here they come through 3 and 4. The 77 Not gonna get the run. Stravato wide out of the corner. He brushes the wall but hangs on for the win. AJ Stravato, 2 weeks in a row, clutch moments in this race, or in this series. Late in the race, he steals it away from the dominant car, and Stravato, a two-time winner, the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. Congratulations to the 48. What a fantastic race for him, coming from 27th position, leading the last 20 laps of this race. As he goes and burns it down. Congratulations to AJ Stravato. We're going to see if we can pull him right up into the booth straight away. Do things a little bit differently here, since we just ran a bunch of commercial breaks. Gonna see if I can pull him up right now. AJ Stravato, add him in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, AJ, you did it. You made it to the front. You somehow pulled it off the second week in a row. A clutch restart, and you take it away from the dominant car. How'd you do it here tonight?
I'll be honest, I almost blew it. I almost blew it in that last corner. I hit that bump going into 1, and 1 is generally my strong point, so almost blew it there, but just really being patient and just managing my tires, and Eric's a good buddy of mine, so I knew he was going to race me clean at the end right there.
Yeah, it was definitely a heck of a finish. You guys neck and neck on the final lap, and I saw you wash up there, and you had been very good through that section. You had gained time on Eric in those corners in 3 and 4. He'd kind of reel you back in just a little bit. Very, very even between the two of you, but an exciting finish, 2 weeks in a row. What does it mean to just get the 2 victories like that in sequence?
It means a lot. I know over time I've been putting in a lot of work just in the sim, and just trying to get real life racing back on track. So this is a good way for me to keep busy and do that and work on my racecraft. And there's a lot of good guys in this league, and I think they do a great job at just keeping everything in line. And there's a lot of clean racing, so it's a lot of fun for me to just work on different things and like I said, race with a couple of buddies and have a good time.
Yes, sir, and winning adds to that for sure. 2 wins here. We head to Vegas. What are your thoughts on going to that racetrack?
Vegas is a fun track for me. I do definitely enjoy Vegas, and just hopefully we can get a good run over there and not get off to as bad of a qualifying start as we did today. That was a lot of work working through the field, but just want to give a special shout out to Chris Lewis, NRW Photography, TI Racing, and all my teammates, Eric Hutton and the Solfridge brothers and the Vincent brothers. A lot of fun racing with them, and good run for LD Racing, Long Dong Racing. Really happy for the guys back at the shop, and looking forward to next week as well.
Awesome, AJ. Well, you got the shout outs out of the way before I even asked, but congrats on the win. Go celebrate with those guys, and we'll catch you next week in Vegas.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you.
All right, that was AJ Stravato, your race winner here tonight. Fantastic effort from him.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, probably sticking to second gear on those restarts. I heard someone do first gear on a previous restart, and they got a good run. So I figured I'd try to get a little advantage over AJ and just lit up the tires. So probably should have stuck to something that was working the whole race, but it is what it is. Glad to at least finish second. Yeah, definitely. Just a couple decent runs so far, and hopefully we'll keep that going through the season. Well, it's not one of my favorite mile and a halves, but you know, solid top 5 I'll take. It should, you know, it's just not one of my better tracks, so I think top 5 I'll be happy with, and anything better than that would just be you know, good solid day. Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody putting on the league and the sponsors and admins who go through all the work, and my long dog teammate AJ for beating me there at the end. If anybody want to lose to, it'd be him. And big shout out to Vincent Motorsports and everybody on their team. They're always practicing with us and good group of guys. So we'll head on to next week. I will see you then.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I feel pretty good starting all the way in the back and having to weave my way through traffic to get up there. But you know, just patience, trying to work my way through and pick my points and pass in ideal situations, and it worked out tonight. Don't think I had enough for those front two guys. I kind of boiled right front on the last run there, and just didn't have enough rubber underneath me to kind of get back up there to them. So they ran away there a bit towards the end. But overall, I think it was a really good race. Yeah, this is a tricky track. You definitely need to keep the car clean, but really, I think patience is the number one thing here. I think it's really easy to get too punchy on the gas or overdrive a turn and get too loose. You know, I had some issues with turn 3. Turn 3 sucks, and just had some issues getting in there. But yeah, patience. Just try to stay patient the whole race and pick my marks and pass when it was ideal. Oh yeah. Tire wear was so big here too. I mean, you really had to keep that right front on it, otherwise it would ruin your long runs. And I think that run where we went about 70 some laps, you know, I still had almost 80% tire wear on the right front, which really kind of helped me out a lot there. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Vegas. It's actually one of my better tracks. I like running there. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. Oh yeah. I want to thank my teammates Jeff, Dan, and John Mullins. You know, they kind of helped me talk through some pit strategy and just pointing out things that I could change to get a little bit faster. So I've been racing with those guys for many years, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. So thank them, and obviously thank you guys for broadcasting too. Thank you.
think I've been muted the whole time here. We went through the full field rundown, and I apologize for that. You see where all your drivers finished. But appreciate everyone tuning in here tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. You can check us out on all of these social media platforms you see on your screen at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We post race announcements to each of those different platforms. You can find race replays over on YouTube at VSpeed Media. But check out last week's race from Texas over there. It was a heck of a finish, a lot of fun to watch. And you can find us right here on Twitch weekly on Wednesday nights with the Virtual Racing League at 9:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Thursday nights with the Brawl Cup Series here at 8:25 Eastern Time. So we're going to raid another iRacing channel, and stick around to join with us while we go over there. But appreciate everyone tuning in, everyone following and subscribing. We thank you so much, and have a great night.